what happens? I know that it's not easy if we've done something and we feel like we haven't done our best, or we feel like we've failed, and we just get so discouraged and disheartened, and uh, and sometimes we begin to feel even more pressure and stress and anxiety than we really should, even when it comes to something that's as important as the IELTS exam. You know, the IELTS exam is a really important step towards whatever you want to accomplish: to study abroad, to move to a new country, to get the job that you've always dreamed of, and have the life that you want for you and your family. And so when we have this doubt or discouragement when it comes to facing the IELTS exam, it just adds a lot more pressure. And this is something that we want to avoid. So whether you've done the test before and didn't get the score you need, it's not a reason to think of yourself as a failure. It's not a reason for anxiety. It's an opportunity to do things differently the next time around. And if you haven't done the IELTS exam yet and you're still feeling anxious and worried about it, I really want to encourage you through this lesson today to take the steps you need to make sure that you're feeling fully confident and even comfortable when it comes to the IELTS exam on test day. And if we've had a setback or a failure, all we need to do is just refocus and turn this setback, whatever it is, into a stepping stone for the future and our future success. Because failure is never final. Failure can be an opportunity to do things differently and move forward and have success in life. So today I'm going to just share with you 5 ways that you can build your confidence. And if you stay with me to the end, you're going to have 5 specific ways that you can find confidence and feel totally ready and prepared for the IELTS exam. So let's get started. And maybe you haven't gotten the score you need on your first time. I was talking to a student the other day who's tried 3 or 4 times to pass the IELTS exam and not feeling confident. And we were talking about the fact that, when something like this happens, maybe there's some comfort in knowing that you're not alone in this. You're not the only one that didn't get the score they need the first time. As a matter of fact, over 50% of people who take the IELTS exam every year don't get the score they need their first time, either because they weren't fully prepared, they didn't know what to expect, maybe they felt overly nervous on test day, but for whatever reason, over 50% of the 5 to 6 million people who take the IELTS exam every year don't get the score they need on the IELTS exam. And this doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're not intelligent. It doesn't mean that you're a failure or you're going to be unsuccessful in the future. It just means that you've had some difficulty and you need to learn to take this experience and turn it into a learning experience. At the very least, if you didn't get the score you need on your first time doing the IELTS exam, at least you have the experience of doing the exam and knowing now what the real challenge is and what you're really up against. So if you didn't get the score you need, don't think of yourself as a failure. Learn to forgive yourself and realize that you can make this an opportunity to do things differently the next time. And it's also good to know, if you're a part of the Facebook group or the YouTube channel community, You're not alone in your preparation. You can bring other people alongside you. You can connect with others, especially in the Facebook group, and you can share your struggles as well as your questions. And most of all, when the time comes and you do get the score you need on the IELTS exam, you'll be able to share your success with others. So even if it seems like right now you're only sharing your struggles, realize that in the future, it's going to provide the opportunity to share your success with others. So you're not alone. We're in this together, and this is why I've made it my mission to help you. You have my support. You have the support of the people around you, your family and your friends. So just realize that even though the IELTS exam is something that you have to do on your own on test day, when it comes to everything surrounding it, you're not alone. The second thing that I want you to realize is if you've taken the test and you feel like you haven't gotten the score you need and you're feeling discouraged and disheartened, this is the time to take a step back, to refocus and recharge. So one thing that I recommend is don't book your second test right away. Give it some time. Give it some time to ask yourself some questions about why it may have happened, the circumstances surrounding it. Sometimes there are lots of circumstances that we can't control, whether you're very busy at work or at school, things are happening with your family and your friends. When you've completed your test and you've discovered that you didn't get the score you need, this is not the time to rush in to booking your test again. It's the time to step back and take the time to think and just recharge your batteries and put things into perspective. How are you going to balance your preparation for the next test with everything else that's happening in your life, with your employment, with your education, with your family responsibilities, and your personal life? And one of the best things to do during this time is to really step back and think about your English language level. Is your English language level really where it needs to be? And this is the time during this kind of recharging and refocusing is to kind of re-immerse yourself in English. Start reading some magazines and books again, watching TV shows and listening to podcasts or radio shows, and just take the time, first of all, to reassess your English level, because after all, there's no replacing the fact that the IELTS exam is a test of your English language ability. So when it comes to rethinking about your readiness for the IELTS exam, start with your English language ability and your English language level. And if you'd like help with this, all you have to do is contact me by email or through Messenger, and I'd be happy to share with you a way that you can assess your English level. I do have an English level assessment available. I'd be happy to send you that at no cost. All you have to do is contact me, and I'll make that available to you, and it'll give you the chance to just kind of recharge and refocus. And sometimes there's nothing better than simply having a rest. Take a couple of weeks and just rest and begin your preparation. And as you begin your preparation, this leads to step number 3. Understand where you struggle. Understand your weaknesses. Where are the areas where you're having the most problems when it comes to the IELTS exam? So maybe as you begin again and you start thinking towards your next test, do some practice tests again. Take a look at the results from your previous exam. If you're having problem in the reading section, or maybe you didn't get the score you needed in the writing, this is the place to begin your focus. Begin with the areas you're weak, because when we focus on our weaknesses and improve those, this is where we improve overall the fastest. We analyze where we're weak and we build on that. If you're already strong in an area and gotten the score you need in a section of the IELTS exam, well, this is not the place to begin your focus. The big place to begin your preparation is where you didn't get the score that you needed. And then once you understand where you are, where you struggle, this is the place to begin to adjust your preparation. And so you want to adjust your practice habits. So first of all, you want to focus on the areas of weakness. If you need help with the listening section and particular types of listening questions, or the reading section, this is where to begin your focus. And if you need help with any section, any question type in the reading or listening or in the writing section, don't hesitate to subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I have videos for every question type that you could possibly face on the IELTS exam. I have other videos to encourage you to on how to improve your English, how to build your vocabulary, English ways that you can improve your English specifically for IELTS. Everything that you could possibly need. And if there's something there you don't need, again, just reach out, ask me a question, and I'll be happy to do my best to help you. One of the other things that's really important when it comes to adjusting your practice habit is think of the times when you schedule your practice. You want to choose times when you're in your best shape. What's the best time of day for you to practice? Try to set aside a time when you're at your best. When is the time where you'll have the least amount of distractions? And I would encourage you to do a few minutes every day than to try to cram a few hours into one day or into the weekend. Doing a few minutes every day makes it more manageable. You can find a good time to do your practice. And by doing a little bit of practice every day, you're learning to become more consistent in your routine and in your practice. And this is a good habit to develop for anything when it comes to your future studies or your future employment. It just helps you to manage your time better and to make progress one day at a time instead of trying to go week by week. It's better to go day by day, and a few minutes every day can go a lot farther than a couple of hours crammed into a day or on the weekend. Because if you set aside 3 or 4 hours to study one day a week, by the time you get past the first hour, you're starting to fade. You're starting to get a little more tired. You're starting to fatigue. But a few minutes every day is where you can keep your energy up and stay completely focused for just 30 minutes instead of an hour. And you'll find that this will help you to remember what you've done day by day and to just get into that daily routine of practicing. So just think of these things so far. First of all, realize that you're not alone. everybody struggles with their preparation. Everybody finds preparation for the IELTS exam a challenge. It is a challenge, and it can be difficult. But if you take the time to recharge and refocus and plan out your preparation and take the time to put it into perspective, this will go a long way to getting ready for your next exam. And then focus on the areas where you struggle, your weaknesses, so that you can improve as quickly as possible. And then once you've recognized these areas that you need to focus your practice on, adjust your practice habits so you can make the best use of your time on a daily basis. And I just want to mention one more thing that I think can be so helpful, and for some reason, many of you will not consider this, and that is to get professional help. And there are lots of reasons why people don't seek professional help. Some think it might be a waste of money. And I understand that getting paid lessons and hiring a tutor or a teacher is an expense. But I can guarantee you it's no more expensive than paying for a failed IELTS exam. I've seen people who take 2 or 3 IELTS exams before getting the score they need and spend thousands of dollars just on IELTS exams, where it might be a better investment just to get professional help. And I'm not here just to plug my services, but I do want to tell you that I am available. If you need help, you might want private lessons. I also offer group lessons and online courses. There is something that can fit your budget, and you just simply need to reach out and contact me. I'd be happy to share with you the possibilities for you to get the help that you need. As I mentioned already, and there's no charge for this, if you would like to assess your level of English, don't hesitate to contact me, and I will be available, make that available for you. And I do want to mention one more thing that I am willing to offer. If you would like to book a 15-minute call with me, contact me by email or just put in the comments that you'd like to have a 15-minute strategy call with me, and I'll answer your questions and help you take the things that you've heard in this lesson and apply them specifically to your situation.